Hi everyone, it's DJ Philip Tan, and I'd like to let you know that my radio show is coming back. Instead of the morning motivational mix show, it's going to be the Winter Weekend Warmup. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be broadcasting live on Twitch TV, YouTube, and on Mixcloud. That is noon on Pacific Time, and if you're in the UK, I believe that's 8 p.m. So I hope you come by and say hi in the chat. I'll try to give you a shout out, and it'd be very, very nice to know that you're listening. I thought I'd also use this opportunity to show you what's happening behind the scenes, and I've made some changes in the way how things work. Over there is my DJ computer, and it's got all my music collection in there and my DJ software in there. That connects to my mixer over here, which is also connected to these two turntables. Each one of these turntables is just sending a series of sine waves over to the mixer, which then communicates with the computer in order to play the appropriate part of the music, and it just comes out very clean. I'm actually upgrading this mixer shortly. There's a new mixer that I'm getting that actually has the waveforms that will display right on screen, and you'll actually be able to see it thanks to that little camera right there on the wall. I used to have just a regular old webcam up there, but this one has a zoom lens on it, and it doesn't try to autofocus. It's just a fixed focus, so you get a nice, good view of everything that's going on over here. In fact, you can see it on my broadcast software, which is OBS, Open Broadcast Software. You might also be noticing that I've got cover art here, and over here you can see they're just blue records. What's happening is that I'm using the software to knock out that blue color and replace it with information that's coming over from my DJ computer. It goes through Ethernet down here into my little hub, back to this computer, and you can see high resolution cover art. So you can see the songs that I'm queuing up. In fact, if you look real close, you'll also be able to see the titles of each song, because I believe that it's important for DJs to be sharing music and not being too secretive about what they're playing. I want you to be able to look up all of these artists that I'm playing, so that you can become fans of them too, if you enjoy the music. This process of knocking out a single color from video and replacing it with something else is called chroma key. And it only works if you've got pretty even lighting and pretty bright lighting on the surface that you're trying to remove from the image. So I put up these lights. Instead of spending a whole lot of money on like really expensive video making lights, these are just USB powered LED lights. And what I'm doing is I'm just bouncing that off every white surface that I had in my little DJ closet here. As a result of that, you get a nice even lighting on both of these records, and I can get this effect where you don't actually see the blue of the records at all, but you can see my hand moving in front. You can see the parts that aren't blue spinning just fine. And as a result of that, you'll be able to see the records really, really clearly, and it looks like I'm actually manipulating those record covers. I also want to show you this thing. This is a Korg Monotron, which is a little synthesizer. I can do these kinds of spacey sounds, and they echo, and if you're familiar with dub sirens, it's very much doing exactly the same thing. Very, very popular amongst reggae DJs, for instance. Now, you might not be able to see this in the future. It might be pushed all the way back in that corner because my new mixer is actually a little longer. So I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it between my broadcast laptop and the mixer in the future. But you'll definitely hear it. Over there is DJ Pone 3, who's been there since my very first mix show. DJ Pone 3 probably won't actually show up on my stream anymore because it's just out of view of my camera, but it makes me happy seeing DJ Pone 3 there. So for all you My Little Pony fans, that's DJ Pone 3 sitting on top of my monitor speakers. These are KRK Rockets. Now you notice the speakers are actually really, really close to my turntables. And I've had a problem before where sometimes the bass notes coming out of these speakers end up feeding through the needles, and that messes up the signal that's going over to my DJ computer. To sort of combat that, I've added these weights. They're about 450 grams. They're actually brass, but they've been chrome plated. And they basically, triple, maybe quadruple the weight of the record. The turntable can handle that no problem, but what it also does is that it reduces any impact that vibrations might have on the record itself, and as a result of that, I just have been having fewer problems with vibrations since I added these, so these are probably staying. There are actually also 45 RPM record adapters, so if I have a 7-inch record with a really, really big hole in the middle, I can use these to sort of adapt the size of the spindle at the beginning, at the middle, to the correct width. Many of the changes that I'm making to my format actually come out to changes from the broadcast platforms themselves. Basically, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter have all been issuing warnings to DJs for playing copyrighted music on their services. That's largely because they don't have the licenses to rebroadcast music from record labels and publishers. And so if they don't take action against DJs, then they're liable for that kind of infringement. I will still be announcing that my streams are going live on Twitter and on Facebook. Maybe not on Instagram because it's difficult to click through from Instagram to my shows, but I won't be streaming live on any of those platforms. I think, in fact, the only platform that has the rights to broadcast all of this would be Mixcloud. They basically operate as a radio station license in the UK, and they have the rights to be able to rebroadcast music from all of the record labels together with streaming video, and then to archive all of that audio and then for on-demand playback. There are some limitations, like I think you can only listen to the same recording 3 times within a week, and then you can come back later and listen to it again, but you can't just fast forward and rewind all the time. It's basically a radio broadcast, but it is archived. YouTube has some licenses, largely obtained from their acquisition of Vivo, which is a music video service a couple of years back. And so they have deals with most of the record labels, but not all of them. So I can broadcast live on their platform. I can put my shows for video on demand, and you can just watch a recorded show. But occasionally some songs are either going to get muted or cut out because they don't have deals with every single person. But what they do have is a deal where if I'm playing copyrighted music, I won't see a penny from ad revenue, but they'll put ads on my show and give that revenue to the labels and the publishers, which means artists get compensated. That's awesome. And finally, there is Twitch. Twitch TV is interesting because they're really a gaming stream platform. It wasn't really set up for DJs, but DJs really, really like Twitch TV because it's put a lot of emphasis on interactivity, and we're missing that interaction with audiences. So what Twitch has done is basically say, well, we only have licenses with a very, very small number of mostly independent labels, and you have to use their music player software to be able to play that music legally. On the other hand, it seems like they're okay with DJs streaming copyrighted music during a live broadcast. They're just not allowed to be able to keep those recordings of those broadcasts up for video on demand playback later on. So you're not going to see any of my old shows on Twitch. You only see the live shows on Twitch. And I certainly hope to see you there because interacting on Twitch is super fun. But you'll find all of my video recordings on YouTube and all of my audio recordings on Mixcloud. So I hope you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at what goes into producing the Winter Weekend Warmup. And I hope to see you on Friday when my show goes live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Say hi in the chat so that I know that you're there, and I'll try to give you a shout out. Take care.